All right, YouTube, we are long overdue for a catch-up. I think it's been like 5, 6 weeks. I think the Hong Kong vlog I did was like the last time I've been on here. I honestly have like considered, and I've even started filming a few days of YouTube, and then I just, like, what's the point? And I just don't feel like it, so I don't do it. But I do want to just make an effort to document, honestly, no other reason than that, just to document it so I can have us look back on this period of life. All right, I'm going to yap for a bit, and I'm going to put a leg day from like a week and a half ago over the background while I yap, so you guys have something to look at. But I don't think the video probably won't be long enough to cover all of the yap. So then, anyway, it'll do a bit at a time. Where do I even start? I'll just start from where I last spoke to you guys. So, still dieting at the moment. Honestly, it's been the easiest fat loss phase of my life. I can get into that maybe later in the video why it's been so easy. But yeah, I think I did battle over the last like month, 6 weeks, a few different bouts of sickness, which obviously isn't ideal. Some of them were like stomach buggy type things, and then there was one like, the flu as well. But, it seems like a big deal at the time. You realize how much you take feeling healthy for granted, but looking back, it wasn't that bad. And then just a few days ago on Saturday, I did fuck up my back, and now it's an aggravation of a known existing injury. I've got a fucked up spine, to be honest with you, but in particular my L5S1 is like, and this is like being told by, I've seen neurosurgeons and everything, and like if it wasn't for the fact that I'm 27, they'd be doing surgery. That's how bad it is. But they've kind of said like, there's no point doing surgery, like major spine surgery on you at this age. You'll just need it again in 10, 15 years, and then so on. So anyway, I re-aggravated that, and I'm in quite a bad way with my back. So since I did it on Saturday, I've been able to do 2 modified sessions. One was push, one was pull. And the real test butt is going to be legs. So I'm meant to have legs tomorrow. I don't know how the fuck that's going to go, because just the way it feels, like I can't even see myself being able to do anything for legs 100%. Even like a leg extension, like a hamstring curl, just the bracing and the pelvis movement and stuff that happens there, or just trying to keep your pelvis from moving. I can see myself having some pain. Hold up, my arm is getting fucking sore. I need a break. I'm just waiting to go in the sauna, actually. I'm waiting for it to heat up. And I just thought, impromptu, I'll just film this little ramble. So I don't have like a tripod or anything with me, and my arm is getting so sore holding up the phone to film this. So not ideal. See, even that just killed my shoulder. But yeah, okay, update on the diet. It's been the weirdest diet in terms of like my body weight. Obviously now that I'm dabbling in the extracurricular side of bodybuilding, there's all those variables that can massively affect body weight. So I really have just had to like not care about my body weight, because I've pretty much gone like this between 114 and 112 kilos for like 6 weeks now. It's been insane, but I've been getting leaner and leaner, and conditioning. So you can kind of see from my face maybe that I'm in okay conditioning. Maybe I'll pop up some pictures on the screen of what I'm looking like. Pretty happy. I was pretty much, for the majority of this fat loss phase, just been on 3,000 calories for the whole time. But that was as my base food. But then I don't think I went more than like, no longer than ever 2 weeks without a refeed, where I have like sometimes 3 days, sometimes 2 days of like 4,000 calories. But then just recently, like a week ago, we switched it up to highs and lows rather than just like adding in refeeds, when my coach decided just like, go ahead with 4 days of lows at 2,500 calories, and then 2 days of high at 4,000 calories. So I'm on my 4th day right now of lows, so I've got a high day tomorrow, which I may film and include in this video. I don't know. You guys will either see it or not see it. It's been easy in terms of like fatigue hasn't really been too bad. Like I've maybe had like, you get your odd random day where you feel quite bad, but there hasn't been like days and days stringed together of just feeling miserable. I maybe had last week, 3 days where I was starting to feel it, and then just in time, like a refeed high day kind of pulled me out of that. Hunger, once again, there might be like 2 or 3 days in a row is the worst I've had where I'm like, fuck, I'm hungry. But then I'll just kind of like regulate it. And I think a big part of that this time has been the mental side of things, not just kind of like feeling sorry for myself and being like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, and then just really buying into that belief. And it might sound a bit wooey, but I think there is a lot to be said for just kind of mastering that mentally and being like, it's fine, there's heaps of food, and just really looking at it with like an abundance mindset. I just look at like my huge plates of veggies and I'm like, this is a fuck ton of food, I'm fine. My biggest struggle, like most people, is my last meal of the night. That's when I finish it and I'm just like looking at the empty bowl and I'm like, how am I not going to eat more right now and be able to sleep? But then it's about like, I just kind of sit there with it for like, 10 minutes is meant, and it's kind of like skirt the cravings, if that makes sense. I know that's the right thing to say. But anyway, have I been making enough eye contact? I feel like I've been I forget that I'm holding a camera, and I just kind of look around as if I'm like a phone call to someone. That's why I'm horrible at making eye contact with these, but I'm trying to be better. I think I have about, what is it? Maybe like 10 days left of fat loss, less possibly. So I'm leaving for Bali for like 10 nights on the, 24th of January. For context, it's the 13th of January. So yeah, in my car, 11 days I leave. And I think it's like 4 days before I leave for Bali that fat loss is meant to wrap up. And the plan is to go into like maintenance / call it recovery. I don't think maybe I do. My body part does need to recover a little bit. So yeah, maintenance recovery phase while I'm, maintenance calories when I'm in Bali. And then when I get back from Bali, it'll be kind of beginning of a growth phase. I didn't even mention, when I started this fat loss phase, it was actually potentially going to be a prep. Kind of started it there like it was a prep, but did go into it knowing, when we were going to start this prep, I said to my coach, okay, can we go into it with the mindset of like, we may get halfway through or 1/3 of the way through and be like, nah, not enough muscle, not in the best spot to prep. Let's not turn it into a prep. And I think I was saying that at the time because I didn't want it to, if that happened where I didn't feel like it was right for me, I didn't want to be like, oh, he's pulling out a prep, he's failed. He's giving up. So I was like trying to set that precedent from the start of like, hey, let's like be open to the fact this might not be the right time. And he made a really good point of like, he's like, well, that's what we're constantly doing. He's like, at any time and any phase in the entire journey, it is a day by day. We are making the best choice for you at any given point in time on any day. And when I realized that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like even if we're like, yeah, we're 100% doing this prep, things can change, variables change. And ultimately, he kind of made the call that we weren't going to carry on with the prep, with the main reason being just not enough muscle on my frame, or not enough muscle in general. Being quite tall and long-limbed as well. Like I even have long limbs for my height. Like my limbs are too long for my height. So a bit of a, call it uphill battle, just going to take longer to fill out that frame. So wasn't the right time. So yeah, I'm keen to get back into growing. And we've taken this fat loss phase further than you would just for like a mini cut, because it was a good opportunity for him to be able to see where I flatten out, where performance dips off. My timer telling me the sauna's going to be hot enough just went off and ended the video. The reason I'm going to Bali is because I need to apply for this special type of visa so I can stay in Thailand for longer and not nearly get deported and put in jail like I did last time. And you can only apply for the visa outside of the country, and then you can't come back into it if it's approved, and it can take about a week. So I've booked the 9 nights in Bali just to be safe, so I can apply for it as soon as I leave, and then hopefully have no dramas getting back in. And then I have another trip booked back home, my first time going back to Australia since I left at the end of September. When am I going? End of March. So the main reason going back is for my sister's wedding, but while I'm back there, it's also going to be my birthday, my pop's birthday, and Easter. So I'll kind of make it a bit of a, back for all those different things. It's going to be a challenging time in terms of staying on plan, because it's not just like, changing location where there's a gym in your kitchen, you can just do your thing. It's going to be a lot of like traveling around all these different events, long days, with times where there'll be no access to a gym and times where I like won't have access to kitchens. So, you know, I'll do my best. And when I say my best, I don't just mean my best 100% absolutely to be a perfect bodybuilder, because for me that's not what it's all about. Like, for me it comes down to priorities, and there might be a time where I choose to prioritize time with family over getting a gym session in. I might choose to prioritize, especially around my sister's wedding or things like that, and I make priorities that will be different to it just all being about I need to get to the gym or something, or go and eat chicken and rice. And the difference is I don't just then delude myself into thinking I'm doing everything I 100% can to make as much progress as I can. I just accept the compromises and where I'm placing my priorities, if that makes sense. I'm willing, and people say, oh, that's the people that are not doing those things, they'll make more progress, they'll beat you. I'm like, cool, that's so fine by me. That's kind of my attitude towards it all. That sums it up. There's obviously nuance to that and blah, 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 but yeah. Anyway, the sauna's ready to go, and I might need to jump in there before someone steals it. Funny story, someone did steal it from me once when I'd been the one to turn it on to heat it up, and I was waiting 10 minutes for it to heat up, and they jumped in there, and I kind of was like, hey, I just turned it on for me, and we got into a bit of a disagreement, and he got quite heated up in my face. Anyway, so yeah, I may run you guys through my high day tomorrow. That may become this video. It might be like, you know, life bodybuilding update and full day of eating. I hate committing to doing a whole full day of eating, because I'm normally good for like my first 3 meals, and then for my last 2 meals I really get like non-verbal and just disassociate at the end of the day, and I'm like, I do not want to fucking talk even to a camera, let alone like socialize with people. Anyway, so see what happens there. So have I covered everything about my life update? And yeah, this injury kind of sucks. Go see how bad it is. Like, I've went and got some acupuncture done yesterday. Might get a massage tomorrow. Just doing lots of little mobility and stuff. And what basically is bad, I didn't even really explain it. I think I got sidetracked. The nerve gets aggravated where the disc pushes onto a nerve. And this is my best guess of what's happening. So the spine is a complicated thing. Just talking to the experts, this is kind of the best guess of what's happened is, the disc is touching the nerve, the muscles get aggravated, they really kind of contract and lock up to protect you because they're like, what the fuck's going on? And then it can take quite a long time to get those muscles to like let go, and they're literally locked up so tight that it's like extremely painful, and that's what I'm dealing with now. Like, even just sitting here, if I try and like slightly I try and lean forward a little bit, that stretch is so painful that puts on the glutes as they start to lengthen. So it's not great. I always just get I think I get into these yaps, and I'm like, I look and I see it's been 12 minutes, and I realize like I haven't covered anything I wanted to, and I start to get like conscious of like, fuck, how would anyone want to listen to me yap for this long? And then I just give up on actually trying to get across the points. So I'll try and stick with it here. But yeah, still here in Thailand, still here in Bangkok, been loving it. Honestly, very boring Groundhog Day kind of stuff. Check-in days are always such a rush because I've just had to do my posing, and I do like a round of posing at the gym, well, 2 rounds, and then I do like another 2 rounds back here in 2 different lightings. So it's like, it takes a bit of time, and normally I'll be eating this first meal at like 7, and it's now 7:50. So it kind of throws my day out of whack, and I nearly forgot to film it for you guys. But high carb day. I've just come off running 4 days at 2,500 cal at like 225 carb or something, and today is, I don't even know, it's all like on my phone, on my app, is it like 650 carb today? It might be that. Anyway, meal one. I'm so hungry. Yesterday was like, my hunger was pretty high, especially at the end of the day. So I'm so keen to get into this. I'll put up exactly what's in it on the screen, but it is basically my normal meal, which would be like the oats, the rice flour. But then what's different is I've got raisins in here, I've got honey, I've got cereal, there's more rice flour. I've done apple instead of banana, just because I really like the apple raisin combo that I can do on this day. Yeah, so there's a better look at it. It looked way better, and then I like mashed it all up to start eating it, and then I remembered that I need to film this. But yeah, this is my pre-workout meal. So I've put, like, if you look at my calories for the day across 5 meals, at the amount of carbs I'm having, if every meal was going to be equal, it would be 120 grams of carbs per meal and 800 calories per meal. But this is about 830, 840. It's on you would have seen it on the screen, and there's a bit of extra carbs. So I'm putting in more of my carbs pre and post workout, but there's still a decent whack in the other meals as well. What else needs to be said? I'll start training. Well, yeah, I got legs today, and now I'm running behind, which sucks. So I'll probably start training in like an hour after eating this, but that's like slowly warming up. Like I'm not like going into hard, heavy working sets straight away. And today is my first time trying to train legs since I fucked up my back. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. This morning, it felt better than it did yesterday. It's been getting better every day. So the way it's kind of felt this morning, I feel like I'll definitely be able to do some good working sets, at least on leg extension and seated hamstring curl. Whether I can do much more than that, we'll just have to wait and see. I honestly want to eat this so bad right now. I'm sick of yapping. But I just did my check-in posing. I had a quick look at the visuals, and it's funny, like, such small differences of like lighting, and just if you set the camera up slightly differently, even though I try and replicate it, can just make the visual in the video like just not really translate to what you saw. So I know visually, like I am, and throughout what I've been seeing throughout the week, I have dropped body fat since last week, but it's probably not super apparent to me straight away looking at the video, but looking what I was seeing in the mirror, 100%. And I hit a new low weight this morning of this diet, just after yesterday, talking about, I just had some apple cider vinegar to prepare for this, so slight burp as I'm not eating it yet. What was I saying? Oh yeah, after saying my weight hasn't been really going down much, new low weight this morning of 110.8. So just in time for the high carbs to bump me back up. Yeah. Gee, what else to say about this meal? I've obviously put up on the screen what was in it. I think I mentioned this in the last video, maybe I didn't. Chia seeds, underrated. Chia seeds can take on like 10 times their weight in water. So, especially if you're wanting more volume, putting a bit of chia seeds can just give this way different texture and thickness to like oats or cream of rice or something like that. There's obviously a really good range of like omegas from like really good healthy fat sources in here. And then with the carbs, I've tried to not get like, honestly, I'm trying not to just make this too voluminous, even though it is pretty massive. I haven't tried to make it with too much volume, hence like a bit of dried fruit, bit of honey, getting those carbs from some super easy sources. Even though I could just love to, I could have made this way bigger. But yeah, I'm trying not to get carried away with that and get too focused on it, because yeah, my food focus, hunger, food seeking behavior, and just care factor about the food has like definitely obviously increased over the diet phase, which is to be expected. But I'm trying to just combat that a bit and not get carried away, because that's going to make my reverse out. Because although I can be like, oh yeah, there's a week of fat loss left only, the hard, like, you know, arguably, even though it's not a prep, the harder part is going to be me coming out of that as food starts to increase, and making sure I handle that phase well and don't cook myself. Anyway, I guess I'll give you guys the first bite because it has to be done. We'll make sure first bite we get a bit of raisin, apple, and a bit of cereal and honey. This is fucking, oh my god. Here we go. Fuck yeah. I should mention, 3 grams of pink salt on every meal today, because I'll probably forget to mention it, for a total of 15 grams of pink salt across the day, which from what I hear, and I'm always so shocked when I hear other people's videos and they're talking about having like, you know, 5-6 grams of salt in the whole day. Yeah, it doesn't seem like much to me. I've always had run high, so I drink a lot of water, I have a lot of potassium, I have a lot of veggies with high potassium in them, and I have no issues. And don't forget that sodium and salt are not the same thing. So yeah, 3 grams of pink salt, which equals around about a gram of sodium. Anyway, I've been talking for way too long. I need to eat this and then get ready for the gym. And yeah, I'll see you guys for meal 2. All right, meal 2. I am overstimulated. It is like an hour and a half after I'm meant to be having this meal because of check-ins and having to do like rehab work because of my back injury from my leg day. So let's try and be fucking nice and quick about this because I need to eat. Firstly, leg day was surprisingly good. I was able to do more of my movements pain-free than I thought I would be able to. So things like my lying hamstring curl, seated hamstring curl, leg extension, I was able to do as if I wasn't injured at all, which is great. And then how I felt, I subbed out my leg press for like a hack squat, did like rehab, very light, cautious work, and it was very promising how that felt. Was able to still do like my hip press. I just took a little bit of load off and slowed the tempo a bit and was pretty much pain-free. Like it felt a little bit, I could feel the tightness, but very promising signs. The most affected thing I'd say would be like my RDL that I have on my other leg day, and then the hip extension I was meant to have there. I was pretty much like doing a quarter of the weight, and that's the one that type of loading that's going to be the biggest thing to work around. But all in all, the way things are feeling now, I don't think there's any muscle group on my body that I can't continue to provide like a meaningful stimulus and be able to progress over the coming weeks, and be able to give stimulus to cause growth. So, and my back's hopefully going to get better every day. So things are looking good. Okay, post-workout meal. Very similar to the first meal, where it was like oats and cream of rice and rice flour. This one's just rice flour, so just cream of rice. I've already shown you guys it, but I'll have the screenshot of what's in there. The important thing with this, I forgot to mention the last one, people care about protein. The last one I think was just like straight chocolate protein. This one is salted caramel, and that's important because it goes really well with the dates. So the dates are like chopped up and kind of, I don't put them through at the very start of making the core, but I put it through like halfway through so they kind of semi-dissolve and the flavor gets through the whole thing. Yeah, I'm fucking yapping. Anyway, you guys can see on the screenshot what's in there. Salted caramel protein, dates, bit of berries, bit of cereal, banana, cinnamon, salt. Happy days. Yeah, I've got a peppermint tea here as well because I'm feeling very jacked up right now. I need to, like once I turn you guys off, I'm going to close these blinds because it's too bright and I need to just like sit in the darkness for a bit, drink that tea before I eat this because I'm just not quite, I just trained legs and yeah, you fucking get what I mean. You get what I mean. I'm trying to think, what do people say? I feel like I've been fucking out of the frame this whole fucking time. What do people say with full days of eating? What do you need to know about this? It's obviously going to taste delicious. Like that's pretty fucking clear. The consistency of the core is like a fucking cake. I didn't want to volumize it too much, even though I'm fucking still very hungry. I try and fight that urge to make things as voluminous as possible because I will just want to eat 2-3 kilos of food with every meal. All right, I think that's it. All right, guys. So that is meal number 3. As we speak, I'm going hypo. If anyone has gone hypo before, you know how it feels. And I'm actually having quite a bad one. I'm literally shaking. So that is meal 3. I'm going to put on the screen what is in it. But I need to eat this. I cannot talk. So I might do a video in between this and meal 4 where I explain more. or I'll just see you at meal 4 and this will be all I do. But yeah, I am full fucking hypo right now. So yeah. All right, boys and girls. Sorry if that seemed dramatic. Obviously, I know it's not that. Ugh, something in my eye. Like, I know it's not that big of a deal going hypo, but it does just feel quite horrible. Anyone that's gone through it. So I should explain. People that maybe don't know what I'm talking about, it's like post, whatever the fancy word is, post-prandial, basically post-eating hypoglycemia, where obviously that meal, what's kind of happened is my blood sugars have risen from the carbs in that meal. And being that I'm quite lean and quite insulin sensitive at the moment, my body has then gone through and cleared out those blood sugars quite effectively. And then I've got low blood sugar about an hour and a half, 2 hours after that meal. And for anyone that hasn't experienced anything like it, it's kind of like you get really, it is a bit hard to explain, like lightheaded, shaky, like real shaky and like weak feeling, like you wouldn't be able to like squeeze your fist, and like your head's kind of like buzzing and excuse me, Pepsi Max burps, not bad digestion burps, which I shouldn't be having this, right? You'd think on a high carb day I should be satiated, not need to have anything like that, but I really was craving a Pepsi today. Anyway, so I needed to get some food into me to feel better. So that's why, yeah, sorry that meal 3 was like that random, just didn't even show my face kind of thing. But yeah, you guys see what was in it. It was basically a rice, chicken and veg meal, but with some super tasty veg in there. Avocado for the fat sauce. You may have seen that it says like non-starch veggies. So that's just how I don't think I even mentioned this video, which is very poor of me. I'm not on a meal plan. I haven't been on a meal plan this entire fat loss phase. I've only been on macros. And this is my first time doing that these last like 10 weeks. If you'd asked me previously, I would have been like, nah, just give me a meal plan. The idea of macros actually like, scared me. I'm like, I don't want that decision fatigue and all of, constantly changing. But then I think my coach maybe pointed out, and it kind of became apparent, like, well, if going on macros is that much of a big deal and it's like a challenge, then maybe that's a sign that you do need to learn to do that. Not that I don't have the nutritional literacy to be able to navigate it. It's more the mental side of I just wanted to be on a locked in, regimented, exactly the same thing every day. And it kind of takes away, it got to a point of me doing that for so long that even then the thought of making small changes, which have no effect on your progress, they would like stress me out. So anyway, I am going on rambles today. I'm on macros. What was the point I was getting at? Oh, so non-starch veg. So any veg that is classified as a non-starch veg, and I have a list that my coach gave me. It's basically the stuff that's lower in calories. I just track as a non-starch veg allowance, and so I can have lots of diversity. That, weirdly enough, what you saw in that plate wasn't actually that much diversity compared to what I do on like a low day when I'm just trying to get as much satiety from veg as possible. I kept that actually kind of simple. But yeah, beetroot has more carbs, so that was why I tracked that separately. But all the stuff, like if it's asparagus or it's spinach or rocket, like I just chuck it all in as non-starch veg and just weigh it all out on a plate. And once again, past Geordie would have freaked out about that because, what if the next day there's different fiber amount? And I just don't worry about that stuff anymore. It's the stress that you would cause. Stressing about that would just cause like a negative effect on your body. So there's no point worrying about it. I actually also, when I was eating it, got some nori sheets, like some seaweed, dried seaweed, and made a couple little like sushi rolls as I was eating it, which is an amazing way just to mix up your meals. In past fat loss phases, I'll have my caffeine up at like 300, 400 megs a day. Not even like super purposefully, it just kind of happens, right? You're trying to offset that hunger, you're just like needing this energy. I have one black coffee every day. That's it. That's like my absolute standard routine is one black coffee a day, so like 75 megs of caffeine. And then sometimes on rest days, I'll have a second black coffee, and maybe like once a month, I'll have a Monster, because Monsters are not readily available here. Actually, they've just been put into 7-Eleven, so that's going to make things a bit more challenging. But yeah, caffeine stayed low. I didn't abuse like, no, I didn't even use any sauces. That's another thing. I did not buy a single sauce and use a sauce on anything. Didn't use any like low calorie sweeteners and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows if this is like an accurate thing, like a bit of advice. I'll just say my personal experience, something that I've found in the past is, you get to those points where you start to be really hungry, consecutive days of hunger and food focus, and you almost, I would resign myself to being like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And that just becomes like this premeditated, decided thing of like, every day I'm so hungry, I'm going to be hungry tomorrow, I'm always going to be hungry, this isn't much food. That's just like what a fat loss phase is. I have to suck it up and deal with that. And then you're like fighting against that and battling that the whole time. Whereas this time, I never resigned to it, if that makes sense. So I would have a day come around, I'm like, well, yep, hunger's up today, I can feel that hunger's higher. But then I would like say get to my next meal and I'd be eating, like, okay, no, like this is a good amount of food. This is a huge plate of food. Mindfully look at it and realize like I'm eating like these huge plates of food 5 times a day. I'm not actually that hungry. And even if I then actually was hungry, I wouldn't then just think, like, yeah, well, that's going to be the case for the whole day. I just kind of like, okay, sit with it for a while, see how I felt at the next meal. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think that was kind of what's been a big difference, but is I just like fought against it and didn't just like give up and be like, yep, I'm going to be hungry now. I stayed like conscious of it. I don't know if this is making any sense. It's not even making sense to myself, so it's probably not making sense to you. Anyway, my shoulder is getting extremely sore from holding up this phone. This is what happens when you only get 2 sets of delts a week, because my delts are apparently too developed in relation to the rest of my body. So I get 2 sets a week, and now I'm not even holding, like my arm is resting on a pillow, but just holding up the phone like this, my shoulder is killing me. I'm going to chill out. I feel like I've been running around all day. I'm going to chill and get in a good mental place to eat this next meal later. Anyway, I'll see you guys for meal 4. Meal number 4. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Hold up, let me include myself in this. Yes, meal number 4. Now you may be thinking, that looks like a lot of food. And I've got some bad news. This is not all of it. So there is about 1/3 of the sweet potato still up there and the pineapple. And I haven't put any honey on it yet. So I'm gonna, at the end, once I have this, go and get the pineapple, more sweet potato, and put some honey over it all and a bit more salt, and then come and have that. Anyway, I should say firstly, it should be on the screen what meal 4 is, but we have 3 whole eggs, 500 grams of sweet potato. We have 100 grams of red snapper. I got some fish from this place across the road. I got some sea perch the other day and it was like ridiculously good. I was gonna get that again, but the red snapper fillet looked like a bit nicer, so I'm trying that this time. We got our non-starch veg, we got mushroom, sugar snap peas, tomatoes, zucchini, spinach. We've got a carrot there as well. And the whole eggs, I just, as you can see there, I just get them from 7-Eleven for like 50 cents each. And it's the convenience factor, firstly, but I even found that when I don't want the convenience, I would happily cook them. It's the volume you get from having boiled eggs, which once again, I just went on this rant for about not trying to chase volume, but I really like getting them, they're like soft boiled, and then I cut them and then the yolks like run all over the sweet potato, and egg yolk and sweet potato, elite combo. Anyway, I've hopefully put the macros on the screen. As you can probably see a theme with my eating, lots of colors. If you just want like a simple way of not wanting to stress about, if you're someone that's not so deep into it that you're gonna put all your stuff into a chronometer and track your micronutrients, just aim for a diverse range of colors. Anyway, what the fuck am I talking about? I'm gonna eat this, and I can't believe that there is more sweet potato up there. I honestly just couldn't really fit it all on this plate. I need to go and buy like a way bigger plate, because I like having my food, like you could just put this all in a bowl and mash it together, and I don't do that. It's not like I'm just doing this because it's YouTube and I'm trying to show it off. it's something about, I just enjoy my food more when I get to like eat little, so what I'll do, right, I'll eat all of that spinach is the first thing I'll do. And then maybe as I'm eating the spinach, I have like one cherry tomato with the spinach and one bit of mushroom. And I save like these eggs and sweet potato till the very end. Anyway, you guys don't need to know how I'm gonna eat it. I need to remember to record when I go and get the rest of the sweet potato. Oh, I'm gonna get the sweet potato, the pineapple, and some cinnamon. Have a look at that. Not running out everywhere, but still like super soft. And egg yolk with sweet potato. There is just something about it. Yeah, we'll get in there. Really get in there. All right, I decided to go and get the rest of the sweet potato, the pineapple, put the honey over it when I still had 2 eggs left because I really wanted to see what the egg, honey, sweet potato combo would be like. Light dusting of cinnamon, the rest of the salt. That is the rest of the meal. Classic bodybuilder talk saying like, this is my favorite meal, and we love every one of our meals. But this probably is my favorite meal. Sweet potato, eggs, veg, and chicken, like pineapple. So good. I haven't tried this honey combo yet. It's my first time trying that, so that'll be sick. 1 meal to go after this, which I hate filming at that time and talking because I really want to be winding down, and I have it pretty like late when I've like really switched off. So don't expect much from me when we film that segment. But yeah, I'm still very hungry. I can feel this is cool because I like got to eat, go up, get the rest of it, and now I'm like ready to go for round 2. Yeah, who gives a fuck? I'm gonna eat it. I'll see you guys for meal number 5, the final meal.
Oh, looky-loo, eh? Go watch from behind a shrub or something like a civilized pervert. Now, where were we?
Boys, the blue light blockers are on, so you know we're thugging it out. I thought I would film this little clip for this final meal before I go and finalize the meal, because otherwise I'll be overstimulated. If I have it all ready to go sitting here and I try and film something, I'll be overstimulated. So do this clip now, but I will still show it to you. It is basically cream of rice with cereal on top. Now, you would have noticed in my first 2 meals I had cereal. And I think cereal gets a little bit of a bad rap as like being bad, not a clean food. Now, I think the important thing is like not all cereal is the same. So I'm not having the very high fat, high sugar cereals. I actually look at the box and get ones that are super low sugar and low fat. Now, predominantly, they have a Rice Bubbles, Rice Krispies here. So a rice-based cereal, and it has like per 100 grams, like 6 grams of sugar and like 1 gram of fat, which is like as clean as you can get. Yep, shoulder's getting sore again, of course. Anyway, this is me just like coping and justifying. I feel like people might be judging me for the cereal thing. But cereal, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong. It's like puffed rice. So yeah, I've got some dates in there. Anyway, when I show it to you, I'll put it on the screen. On a normal day, so not a high day, I don't have any rice flour. So it's just like yogurt, berries, and a bit of cereal. And the almond butter. But I think I'm going to use nuts today because I have like a pistachio walnut blend mix that I got from the shop that I'm going to sprinkle on top because I got 20 grams up my sleeve where normally I wouldn't have that much. Yeah, this is the meal that like I'm always the most ravenous and hungry afterwards. Like I feel like this my final meal of the night. There's just no chance I can eat till I'm going to feel satiated. And so a strategy is going in knowing that, not expecting to be able to eat enough that I'm going to feel satisfied. It's not going to happen. So when that last spoon happens, I'm like, okay, I know that's it. That's the meal done. And then just wait a while. And that a bit of, I guess it's not, yeah, I wouldn't really call it being fully satisfied, but not feeling like ravenous and wanting to keep eating. That will pass after about 15, 20 minutes if if I just chill. We're nearly there. I'm proud of myself that I've actually made it this far into filming. Look, you guys are going to be seeing this right now. If you're watching this and you've made it this far, that's amazing. But it's also amazing that I've gotten to this point and this is going to be an uploaded video, because I think I've tried this like 2 or 3 times over the last few weeks and given up. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, boys and girls, there it is. You honestly can't really tell what's going on because it's all buried. Yeah, fuck, sorry. Yeah, so at the bottom, the very bottom, is the cream of rice with salted caramel protein with dates. And then there is yogurt on top of that. And then the cereal on top of that. Then we've got the blueberries and the mulberries, and we have 20 grams of mixed nuts. And then there is actually 10 grams of chocolate whey drip, which I just did, which has kind of disappeared now. But yeah, quite a bit of volume because, like I mentioned, I know that I'm quite ravenous at this time of night. So that's why there is a total of like 325 grams of berries. But yeah, this will sit just fine for me before I go to bed. I'm not going to go to bed straight away after it anyway. But yeah, guys, that has been the full day of eating. Just over 4,000 calories, 600 grams of carbs. I do this again tomorrow, another high day tomorrow. It won't be the exact same food. I think I'm going to be going to a cafe with a mate, potentially going to Bartels, which I may have shown on a previous vlog, I can't remember, but basically sourdough sandwiches, fully tracked, take the scales, weigh the sourdough, weigh the chicken, all that, and it's all single ingredient stuff, so super easy to track. Interesting to see what my weight will do tomorrow, seeing as I just hit a new low weight today. I don't expect my weight to drop or anything like that, but yeah, we'll see what weight does tomorrow. But yeah, that's been a full day of eating. If you've made it this far, please comment. If you're watching this right now, just comment down below and let me know that you managed to stay on it for this long, because that will just mean a lot. Yeah, geez, I suck at this YouTube thing. But if you guys have any questions, like I didn't show any of like my supplements and stuff like that. If you have questions or, you know, any tips that you want to give me, something that popped into your mind when you were watching this, then yeah, comment down below and I'll see you guys in the next one. I am going to Bali, like I think I mentioned at the start, in like 10 days. And I'll definitely vlog some of that. So you'll see me around then at the very least, but I'd probably like to do another full day of eating on a low day, on like the 2,500 calories, and show you guys how I go about that. So I'll try and get that done next week. All right.